Welcome back, folks. Nash Taters here. So, in anticipation of upcoming raids, I feel like it's a good time to really review one of the better characters in this game. And her name is Shadowlynx. Let's start off by looking at the statistics as always. Her HP is 1449. Fortunately, she doesn't gain any bonus from her board. Her attack is 210 at base, but she also gets a flat 79 and a 20% bonus. One of her best features is her move, which is ranked number 1 currently out of the 75 units on the Japanese server of 4, and then jump is a 3, which is also very solid. Now, her master ability is also supplementary to her character, and I always just call it synergy, with an additional 25% attack and a plus 15 evasion. Let's talk about her 3 jobs. Her main is a ninja, her second is a dragoon, last but not least, samurai. Now, my suggestion is if you want to go for a damaged Skylynx, use either ninja or dragoon, because she's going to get a lot of damage from her skills using shoryukens and jumps. Now, if you want to use her as a support unit, I would recommend samurai, where she will get more boost attack abilities for the rest of her party. As you can see, her ninja main commands include several very useful skills. As you can see, I put Taro approved icon next to the skills that I feel you should upgrade. Shoryuken being one of her main attacks. Utsusemi, which will be significantly raising her evasion for 1 turn. This is probably her best skill in terms of raising her evasion. It increases her evasion actually by 60% at max level. Now let's get to the bread and butter of her ninja build. Dream within a dream. It deals very small damage to the target 3 times with high critical rate. This skill is perfect for chaining. Not only does it do physical chaining, it also adds an elemental of dark to it. Therefore, you can satisfy many of the mission conditions in order to get that 3-star or 5 stars depending on the content. Let's talk about ninja subcommands and support reaction abilities. The first one, Shadowrunner, is what I highly recommend as her first support skill. It raises her agi by 12% as well as her luck at max level. Next skill you want to take a look at is Anton, or Antoine? Anton, alright. Whatever it's called, it deals medium dark damage, and is actually considered one of her better skills since it does have the medium tax attached to it. Decider of Fate is a very good ability that raises her accuracy rate, and it guarantees her next hit to be a critical hit. This skill increases her accuracy rate by 60%. Let's take a look at the Samurai subcommands and support reaction abilities. His first ability is going to be Hein, or Hien. This ability does small damage, but it's considered her main source of damage when you are using the Samurai sub-job, along with her obvious Shoryuken ability that is part of her main job. Devotion raises her own attack by 30% as well as her critical rate for 3 turns. And Blaze Soul is what I recommend to be her second support ability. It raises her attack by 25%, evasion by 12%, and minus her defense by 3 when it's max leveled. Illusion is pretty much the bread and butter for this build. It raises the evasion rate by a solid 25% of all allies within an area for 3 turns. Now for reaction abilities, you can choose Third Eye, which raises her evasion rate by 3%, by 3 turns. But pretty much you have to take damage in order for this to be triggered. Lastly, but not least, let's talk about Dragoon. It's also another build in which you can actually add quite amount of damage. Her Dragon's Kin is actually the most powerful buff for her in terms of attack. It boosts for a solid 40% at max level. Jump is one of her bread and butter attacks. Horizontal jump is actually a large damage with a jump delay. Her alternative to a reaction ability would be a Dragon's Blade, chance of counterattack when taking damage, and absorb damage dealt. The chance of counterattack is 20%, and the damage dealt, absorbed, is 50%. So if you think about it, Third Eye and Dragon's Blade in comparison are both really good, but both requires you taking damage. She's quite a squishy character, so if you don't have a lot of support cards or espers to give her evasion, this would probably be, unfortunately, a coin flip, depending on how you want to build her in terms of reaction. Do you want to increase her evasion rate, or do you want to absorb some of the damage? Just bear in mind, either way, you're going to be taking hits first in order for this to be triggered. Now let's talk about Trustmaster. Shadow Ninja Blade is actually one of the best weapons for a ninja, and obviously it's the only weapon that ninjas can use. It does grant paralysis, it grants attack of 82, agi of 4, and a crit of 13, all really solid stats. One thing I noticed about paralysis is that if you become paralyzed, you actually have a chance to move and or attack during your paralyzed turn. Therefore, in my opinion, it's probably not quite as good as sleep, because you're completely useless when you're slept. For vision cards, the first card I recommend would be Echo Screams. It has the ability to add slash attack for an entire team, and for individual bases, it adds debuff of attack. So pretty much this is really solid in terms of not being debuffed on attack, because if you're using her for attack purposes, you definitely don't want to be debuffed. Another card that I really like would be Shiva. It increases her entire party with evasion, and for her individual basis is ice attack resistance. The next card I actually recommend would be Vow of Love. Now, some people might wonder why, and I'm going to explain it to you. Because of the fact that she can gain hate using this card, and if you have really high evasion for her, she can be an evasion tank. This also clearly adds attack and attack up percentages for your entire party. Another card I highly recommend for her will be Secret Orders. It increases straight up her agility so she can move even faster, and also obviously adds slash attack for your entire party. Bear in mind though, it does decrease her spirit, which is defense against magic attacks. But because she will have high evasion, that's probably not really that big of an important factor here. Another card that I highly recommend that I'm pulling up right now, it's another really solid card that you can use for her. Unfortunately, I don't own this card, but it's called Untrue Pledge, True Soul. For her individual effect, it adds slash attack, and for party ability, it actually adds evade. A really synergistic card for her. The last card I want to recommend would be Cleansing the Mind. This is because I really want to use this card if I feel like I want to negate her weakness in terms of missile attack resistance. For individual purposes, luck will also increase her evasion. So with that all being said, let's take a look at her actual weaknesses and resistances. So she has a 10% strength against strike damage, or fisting as I call it because of this symbol here. She is really weak, as you can see, to projectiles, 15% there. Being a dark unit, she's naturally weak to light by 15. She is quite strong against poison and paralysis. She's actually quite strong against immobilize. Obviously, she's a ninja. She's very evasive. But she is, however, weak to disable. She is fragile in terms of defense and HP, but she more than makes up for it using her evasions. Overall, with her Trustmaster, she is really solid in terms of disrupting and damage. What I recommend in terms of equipment, for the second slot, I will highly recommend some sort of hat which will further enhance her evade abilities. And if you do not own her Trustmaster, then using her basic weapon will be sufficient. Right, so let me see if I pull it up here. Her ninja blade, as you can see, I leveled it up to max. It gives her attack of 47, some crit, and some accuracy. This will hold you over quite nicely until you can unlock her Trust Master. In terms of accessories, I will highly recommend either buffing accessories such as the Lion Emblem, which increase her agi even more, or the Hero's Ring, because the Hero's Ring also adds accuracy. And as a passive bonus, when you unlock the plus system, you will get more evasion up. And another bonus this ring gets is bravery bonus, which will increase her physical damage even more. Now obviously I don't have it, but if you did do the last raid, you could have gotten the Alexandrite ring, which will further increases her accuracy if you go for the aim, which is something I would recommend if you decide that you want to completely skip the Hero's Ring. But bear in mind, the Hero's Ring, it's much cheaper to get and it's a lower rarity, so it should be much easier for you to get it all the way up to level 50. So overall, I feel like this unit is really good. I can't wait to actually finish building her. She is definitely right now, along with Zazan, are as my main priorities in terms of adding them to my team. I feel like she's going to be the one that I'm going to use heavily when it comes to the next raid, and along with doing chains and just as a really good support unit later on as well when I decide to switch her to Samurai build. That's all the time we have today for this video. Moving forward, I really want to hear what other people have to say in terms of how to improve my review videos. I seem to get a lot of support on these review videos, and since there are so many characters in this game, I'm quite excited to continuously put out more review videos and make it into a big long-term series. I really love people's comments and people's inputs because I know that's how I'll improve. And for those who have already done so, thank you very much. And for those who haven't, maybe are hesitant to do so, please do not worry about me hurting my feelings or anything like that. I'm really receptive of input. And as always, hit that subscribe button. We are so close to 100, and I'm really happy for your support. And as always, if you do enjoy this content, hit that like button. Until next time, take care of yourself and all your loved ones. Please stay safe. Nash Taters out.